We received approval to build a 15,000-head beef cattle feedlot in 2002. Having built to a capacity of 10,000 by 2007, we applied to Western Australia's Department of Environment and Conservation for a license to operate the final stage of our staged development. In the license issued to us on 31st of March 2008, not only did DEC not grant us that license, they limited our throughput to 6,000 head, effectively half of our built-up capital infrastructure capacity. DEC knew that such a limit would cause our demise, as we could not cash flow the investment at such a restriction. During the 18 months it took for our appeal to be heard, decided upon, and implemented, our business, which had proven very viable, was ruined. We lost millions of dollars in unused grain contract washouts, unused water payments to the Water Corporation, and various issues relating to reduced operating throughput.
By the time clarification on our amended license was received in September of 2009, we needed more funding. There were only 6 months remaining on the original 2-year license. Due entirely to the lack of certainty hanging over the license, our existing bank was not willing to provide additional funding. No bank was willing to refinance us, and no purchaser was forthcoming at the auction held on the 20th of October 2009. Our entire asset would normally be worth around $10 million, but has no value whatsoever without a reasonable long-term license. Therefore, we are insolvent.
At one point in time, when we were operating at 10,000 head and constructing in-house, we had 24 full-time equivalent employees. Throughout the last year, we had managed to hold on to 8 of our core group of excellent employees, with the intention of building up our business again once a commonsensical outcome was achieved with DEC. We were forced to lay off these employees on the 13th of November last year. We shipped the last of the cattle from our facility just before Christmas. After working actively with and encouraging DEC to take action on a new license from last October, they finally delivered our new license on the 8th of March, knowing that our bank had given us until the 15th of March to give them a solution. The new license is untenable, as DEC well knows, and is now under appeal.
Our operations manager and close personal friend, Lindley Bosley, committed suicide on the 25th of March. He was well aware of the latest developments. He had taken casual employment since November, with the idea that he'd come back to us when possible. He had put his whole heart and soul into building and developing our feedlot, and had done an absolutely outstanding job. Lindley was a doer, a problem solver, one of those guys that could turn his hand to anything. He just had that intangible and untrainable ability to solve problems with a smile. He also proved himself to be an amazing people manager, and he knew more about our place than we do. Depression is an elusive animal, and we can never know everything that was going on inside of him, but we know that Lindley felt frustrated that he could not solve this problem. He could not stand to see his magnificent achievement laying idle and being wasted, and not utilized for the betterment of the district and the nation.
Despair is a terrible thing. We understand it. It's depressing to have bureaucrats telling us what we can and cannot do, when they have never produced anything in this world except more red tape. In attempting to justify their jobs, they keep a good man like Lindley from helping to feed the world. The value in Lindley at every level was too great to quantify. We feel a deep, dark hole in our hearts and minds at the injustice of this situation. We feel compelled to get involved, to ensure that this does not happen again, and we will do what we must. Above all, though, we want to produce. That's all we've ever wanted to do. Produce. Make things. Be productive. When we're not allowed to do the only thing we've ever wanted to do, when good, problem-solving men like Lindley Bosley are driven to despair because the non-producers triumph over the producers, then we must act. We owe millions of dollars to the bank and to unsecured creditors. With a good license, our facility has value that would pay back those creditors. Without a viable license, there is no value.
We are in the hands of a government department that has grown unchecked for the last 30 years. They are thumbing their noses at any elected officials daring them to try to do something. The challenge we all face, producers, consumers, elected representatives, is vast. The environmental extremists have infiltrated many good organizations, and our system of governance, which relied on people's goodness, has been bastardized and taken advantage of. Regulations and policies have advanced without benefit of a vote, and the bureaucracy is beginning to strangle everything in its path.
We have received a tremendous amount of support from people all around the state and the nation in the last year. This support keeps us going. We have also learnt that we are definitely not alone. There are many similar stories in rural and urban areas across Australia where people have had their assets taken by government restrictions on their private property. We thank you for listening to our story and hope that you can join together with us to make a difference in our nation.